How's it going, everyone? Shane Magnuson here, Northwest Bait and Scent and Zillabait today. We're going to talk some about curing shrimp, Coon Striped Shrimp. It's something we use a ton for our Spring Chinook, which is coming up right around the corner here. It's March, and also summer Steelhead and Sockeye and late run Coho. So we use a lot of shrimp, and there's a couple different ways we like to cure our shrimp, and I want to go over both those with you. But before I get doing that, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page at Northwest Bait and Scent. Keep following along with us there, and we'll show these updated videos with you. But getting back to the main part of it here, talking shrimp. There's a couple different cures. There's a dry brine and also a wet brine, and we use both. The guys that you kind of are strapped for time and you only have a couple days to get shrimp done, the dry brine works really good, and you can cure up shrimp in 3 to 4 days, and it's ready to fish, and it's good and fishable for a couple months. After that, it tends to get brittle. The guys that can get a bunch of shrimp and cure them up ahead of time, we like to use a wet brine, which is what I'm going to go over first here. A wet brine works great because I'm going to cure up a bunch of jars here in March, and these will last over a year in the refrigerator. So I cure a whole bunch up in one shot, and then they're ready to fish the rest of the year. So let's start with your basic wet brine. We have a couple different cures. We have, I should say, colors. We have a red raz, which is what we're doing today. One of my basic favorite cerisi red colors that we like to use on a daily basis. We have a blurple, which is kind of a dark purple color. This is a lot of our steelhead guys. Your summer steelhead like that darker, more purpley color. And then we have an orange crush, and that orange crush is going to turn a real bright orange, which late spring Chinook, our Coho tend to like a real bright orange shrimp. Kind of comes out like how they come out of the box, kind of this orangey color. And then there's another color we can do that's kind of like fire truck red, and it's a combination of colors, which I'll show you as we're doing this. But let's get into the cure. Real simple. We got a quart jar, and in this quart jar we're going to put salt, sugar, and Zillabait prawn here. Here we got your basic non-iodized table salt. Of course, I get the big bags because we do a lot of shrimp. But this is your 1/3 cup of salt going in here. And this is going to be all equal parts. So 1/3 cup of salt. And then your basic cane sugar. And of course I'm dropping my measuring stick. That's okay. But your basic cane sugar, so 1/3 cup of your sugar is going to go in there. Like so. And then we're going to put in your prawn cure. Now, like I said, we're going to do the red raz. And this is going to turn out your real pinky looking shrimp, which is kind of what those are turning into right there. We've done those in the last half hour or so. We'll open up our red raz container. Prawn shrimp cure. 1/3 cup of that. Put that in there, just like that. Now we're going to start filling this jar with shrimp, and as you can see by these jars I have down over here, I like to sort through them. I tend to use a lot of the smaller shrimp, so I fill the jar as far as possible, and then this is where we're going to add our color now, or our liquid. Now, to keep it this nice bright cerisi pink color, I'm going to put in the Slam & Sam's pink corn cure. This has a UV dye in it. It has a little more salt and sugar, and it's going to add the liquid to keep those things going. This is where you can turn your shrimp a fire truck red if you want. Instead of using the pink on pink, you can use the orange corn cure and mix it with the pink, and this is going to turn out a real nice fire truck red shrimp. So people kind of go back and forth. The red one works real good at times. I use a lot of cerise. That's what I'm doing now. So we're going to fill this baby up with corn cure. And for a quart jar, you're going to need 2 bottles of this corn cure, which I don't have sitting on the table. So as you can see, one bottle filled it up about 3/4 of the way. Your second bottle is you're gonna fill it up just below the brim. So on that, you fill that up. Now to top it off, I like to add a little bit more rock salt. The reason I do this is the rock salt is going to slowly dissolve over time. That's what's going to keep these shrimp for a long period of time, a year plus. You've got your fine salt, your fine sugar, and your prawn cure in there, which over the next 2 weeks, as you flip the jars, you want to flip them every day for 2 weeks, they'll suck in all that salt and sugar and cure, and then the rock salt in there will slowly disperse over time. Shrimp are like sponges. They keep pulling in lots of salt and lots of sugar. As you can tell, there's a lot of ingredients in these jars, and all those shrimp will pull in all those ingredients over time. So get yourself some basic ice cream salt. That's what we got here. And that's what we're going to top the top of these shrimp off, like so. Just a nice little sprinkle. And then once your jar is full of your corn cure, then you're going to cap it with your lid. And that's going to be your basic wet brine. That brine you're going to want to shake up really well, put it in the refrigerator. Next day, shake it, flip it over. Next day, shake it, flip it over. And do that for at least a week. And then periodically after that. That way all that salt and sugar keeps working its way through those shrimp and everything gets cured properly. Now the dry brine. The dry brine is, it's a little more simple and it's a lot quicker. The wet brine takes at least 2+ weeks for your shrimp to cure all the way, and then your shrimp is good for a long, long period of time. The dry brine takes 3 to 4 days for your shrimp to cure, and they fish really well up to a couple months. Now, we're going to do the blurple on the dry brine. We'll pull this off here. So for the dry brine, open this thing up. We're going to take and shake a little brine down in the bottom of the jar, like so. There's a nice little layer down there in the bottom. And then we're going to start filling this jar with shrimp. So we're going to pull our shrimp, start just putting them in there. Now, I'm going a little bit fast. I do like to sort these for the size I like to use. If you like smaller ones for steelhead fishing or small, medium size for salmon fishing, this time you kind of sort through them. But get yourself a good layer of shrimp in there. And then you're going to sprinkle in another layer of brine. Make sure you kind of get it everywhere, like so. Put in another layer of shrimp. Another layer of brine. Another layer of shrimp. And then top it off with some brine. Now, so you go brine, shrimp, brine, shrimp, brine, and top it off with a little brine on top. Now, with this, I like to add just a little bit of moisture in this. A little bit of moisture will help activate the dye. So I'll take a little bit of the corn cure pink and dump that in there just to help activate that dye and give that a good shake. Shake those up. As you can see, that's starting to turn purple in there already. And as those shrimp juice, that dye will activate more and more. Now, doing a dry brine like this, it takes these shrimp a good 72 hours to really cure. You'll want to shake them and flip them every day until they're fully cured. So there's two shrimp brines for you. All from Zillabait. You got your wet brine, which is your 1/3 cup salt, 1/3 cup sugar, 1/3 cup of cure, and then fill the jar with your Slam & Sam's corn cure. That's going to be your long-lasting wet brine. And then you got your dry brine, where you got your cure, your shrimp, your cure, your shrimp, your cure, layered in the jar, and that's going to cure up in 72 hours and be ready to fish. Hope you liked our video. We're excited to get out there fishing and get all the rest of these shrimp put on cure and ready to go. And thanks for tuning in, and see you out on the water.